So the New York Times says the White House put off issuing major rules regarding Obamacare until after the last presidential election. The reason, not wanting to give Republicans any firepower. The translation, this administration sucks, and if people find out about it, we're going to lose. So that's 4 disasters buried in order to win an election. Benghazi, the IRS, the DOJ, and now this fetid farce called Obamacare. This is no White House. It's a mausoleum of mistakes where they spend more time stashing skeletons than a medical college. And the media helps with the burying when they should be digging for the truth. But while this corrupt strategy got a win in November, Obama looks lost now. Those scandals refuse to die and are now zombified, emerging from the ground demanding their pound of flesh. Obamacare is the latest of the undead to break from the tomb, targeting a population who just heard the free part of Obamacare. Now it's time to pay, and the zombies are hungry. How hilarious is it that a program meant to enhance your health now requires its own warning label? It's not hilarious, actually, because as any non-liberal knows, it was never about helping people. The real zombie is the amoral beast of big government, marching forward with soulless eyes, seeking nothing but demanding everything. Somewhere, George Romero is laughing his butt off, if it's still there. Andrea, I love the fact that it's the New York Times saying that there was a problem with the start. Do you think maybe they might have noticed that before it came out?
Right.
Or were they trying not to notice?
They were deliberately trying not to notice. I think they were all under their desks crossing their fingers. Let's hope this works out so we don't have to write anything negative about them. Now, they almost have to. I mean, their own credibility is on the line. It's a shame, though, Greg, that Republicans aren't talking more about Obamacare because today, big story in USA Today, hospitals are cutting staff.
Right.
In Connecticut, doctors are being fired as part of Medicare Advantage. Everything that we said would happen, everything that Republicans said would happen, everything that Mitt Romney said would happen, they can't really make the point, though, because they're tied in these D.C. deals.
That's it's almost like the Republicans have this huge, beautiful meal in their living room, and they're eating Twizzlers in the bathroom.
I love Twizzlers.
I do that.
Yes, but you know my point that they're missing out.
The meal.
Yes, they go for the meal. David, the other thing, this New York Times article, a lot of people quoted in it anonymously because they were worried about getting their, I don't know, something happened.
Because they might have to take Obamacare. That's why they're being anonymous.
Yeah.
No, look, the New York Times is the, I don't know, for lack of a better term, nothing. I was trying to think of something nice to say, but not really. They ran the gamut for the Obama campaign, no matter what it is. Even right now, he's been elected, it's still an Obama campaign. They sold us this gigantic nightmare is good for people. Now some of them may have to take it.
Yeah.
All those folks that work, not the bosses at the Times Square, at the Times building, they might have to take Obamacare because they owe money to Carlos Slim, $200 million. They're underwater. What happens? They're going to start cutting costs. And suddenly they're going to find out they're going to have to eat this meal, by the way, which has now been there a week or maybe months, and it's rotten, and it tastes exactly like Obamacare. Bad.
Look at Bob has indigestion now after that description.
Bésame culo.
What is?
Well, at least you got
All I got to say.
I have no idea what that means.
I don't either, but that's what Kimberly asked me to say it, so I did.
No,
Is it a song from Menudo?
I'm sorry. Okay, apparently I don't have the. Apparently that's a swear word.
For our Spanish audience, we apologize
Can I
for
just
Bob.
make one point?
Yeah, he butchered the Spanish
Do I
language.
think that they kept this stuff quiet before the election? Yes. For the election? Yes. Are they the first presidential candidate to do that? No. Republicans have done it. I mean, that's part of campaigns. You don't bring out your bad news. Well, there were a few there. I grant you that. But look, in the end, you keep talking about Obamacare and how it's the computer's crashing and all that. And if I were this guy who built that thing, man, I'd be up in the woods somewhere.
See, because you know it doesn't work.
In places where the states took responsibility for their health care, like California, it's working fine. The exchanges are working fine. And the states that didn't were all red states. Republicans have threw it all in the federal government.
Covered California, which is the state exchange, claimed 5 million hits, revised it 87% to like 600 and whatever, 42,000, and it still crashed, and nobody signed up. It worked really great, Bob. And by the way, there's 16 billion plus in the hole.
David, it's really nice to have you here, but get used to it, okay? because it is the law of the land, and you ain't going to repeal it.
okay.
And you're certainly not going to repeal it with Teddy and my pals trying to stop the
Bob,
government.
Bob,
You know what's going to
Bob, there are
repeal
many
it? The American
examples. There are
people.
many examples of laws that have been repealed.
Okay, well,
True.
the problem is Bob just keeps saying, like, on autopilot repeat, it's the law of the land, like it or not. But the problem is nobody's even
Have I
signing
said
up
it
for
again?
it. You heard me.
Okay.
Okay, no one's signing up for it. We can't pay for it. You need how many millions of people to sign up to even make this thing work and make it economically feasible? And last week, Bob, you were talking a big game. Oh, everyone's signing up, all these hits. No, they're not. This sucks. It's
You know
sad.
what else is happening
It's
too?
2 weeks old.
And you know this,
More
Bob. We've talked
excuses.
about this. A number of individuals who have current policies are getting dropped
Right.
because the policies don't meet the crazy new standards that HHS.
The criteria, yeah.
And so what are these people having to do? They're having to go into the exchanges. They can't log on. They're turning over all their privacy information. And the difference, though, between this and Benghazi, no one has died yet from Obamacare. But, Greg, this touches every single person.
Yeah.
They can't run from this. Even if the media never covers it again,
Yeah.
people are figuring out when they're getting their premiums.
Yeah.
People are figuring out when they're logging
It's
on.
only going to get worse.
Why don't
very,
you just
very
let it
quickly
die
how
then?
bad it
I mean,
is.
why do you keep messing with the government? If you're so sure it's going to fall apart and people are going to die and the rest of it, let it go. It'd be a great campaign.
Because we care about
Because
the
we
country.
care about the
Oh,
people,
yeah,
not
you
the
do.
legislature.
I'm not. I will
Take
say
a
I don't
laugh.
care about the country. No, I want to go to Paul Krugman, who works for the New York Times. You might know.
Amazing.
Yes, I think his nickname is Captain Cuckoo. Is what he had to say about Obamacare.
Cuckoo.
The Obamacare thing will also be long past. They messed up the software for the federal version of it. But we have the exchanges working just fine in many states, which means it's fixable and it will be fixed. California has a perfectly well-functioning exchange, which it's running itself. If you can do it for 30 million people, you can do it for 300 million. So Obamacare will be working fine.
Oh, and roses
Dream
and
on.
unicorns and fairies.
Dream
And by the way, the pixie dust will come down and this will work great.
Whenever he talks, I just feel like he should be petting a cat. Going,
Right?
yes,
Like Dr.
Obamacare will
Evil.
work.
Yeah.
People will die, but we'll all die. And this is my cat. By the way, I just want to show. Can we just show some of the happy faces on the Obamacare website? I love this. This is my rule that the happy faces are inversely proportional to the misery this is causing. There's not one person who is happy on that website. It's only the stock photography.
Or have they signed
You
up?
figured it out?
Yes. It took me a while.
Those are actors and actresses.
Like the doctors while they were
Krugman's
passing
exactly
the
right.
law.
Right.
It's going to work, and it's going to work fine. It's going to take a while.
Krugman's
It's like
never
anything
been
else.
right.
It's well, yeah.
Notice how
Also,
Bob's
you know,
backing
you-
off a little bit.
I love
Where
how
do you
liberals
witches
can
and warlords
predict
come from is what I want to know.
Well, who are you
Why don't
calling a
you
witch
get
and
more
warlord?
optimistic? I mean, you like it's like Halloween every day for you people. Everything's horrible. It's all going to fall
Halloween's
apart.
awesome.
Yeah, you know what,
This is
though?
America. Be optimistic.
That's
And
you know
don't be such
he's
a
right. I don't know any leftists who are apocalyptic about the world, about global warming
No,
and
not
climate
at
change
all.
and the oceans rising. You're absolutely right. The left are
No,
completely
listen.
optimistic.
This is America, and if we stop global warming, we're going to continue to be optimistic.
Oh my gosh, you're like
Bob, I
dead
can't
polar
believe
bear
you're still
exaggeration
defending
every other minute.
Obamacare. I cannot
listen,
believe
I
it.
See how he's
defend the
kinda
fact that
laughing?
there are
He knows.
30 million people who were not insured before who have a chance.
They're not going
Have a
to.
chance.
And over 270 million who now have to worry about their health care.
Are you worried about yours?
Yes.
Oh, are you really?
Because if my company
You need a
decides to
loan?
drop it, then I have, are you going to borrow some money or
Sure. If
redistribute
you have
some
a problem with your medical care, you
Redistribute,
let me know, and I'll take care of it for you.
All right, get some tax
If they
dollars
could,
for
if they
me.
could start by taking whatever that thing is crawling up inside you that's making you so negative.
Jeez,
I don't know
Bob.
what.
Rather
it's-
bold.
I drank the tea, Bob. What can I say?
What's wrong
That's for
with you?
sure. That
All
is
right.
for sure.
Get out of here.
Interesting
yeah.
comment by Bob.
Yeah.
We will discuss it during the break.